Yo, no maniacs, welcome to the show. This is Nomad Live, all Bears all the time, in conjunction with Sports Zone Chicago and my guy over there to my right, the SuperBack, Shawn Sierra, man. Hey, man, welcome to the show. You guys are on mute. Hey, it's a nice day, man. You guys, as people are trickling into the show, man, let's just have some regular talk, regular human to human conversation that doesn't involve football for a second, man. Beautiful day out here in the Chicagoland area, man. Just nice for no good reason. And it's just it's a good reason. Yeah, you're right about that, man. I'm just drinking it up. I'm just drinking it up, man. It's just so beautiful, man. And there's something about this soil, man. There's something about this soil in the Midwest area. There's like, this stuff is rich and like gold rich. I mean, like there's a tree. There's a tree in the very back part of my yard at the very end that almost grows through my fence. And I got up on a ladder to trim this thing because it grows so much. I trimmed it down real good, man. I trimmed it around, shaped it up real good. And all of a sudden, man, this soil is so rich this year. It grew all the way back in like a few months. And I'm just like, I got to go out here and do this all over again this year, man. But just to go and show you, man, if you live in the Midwest region, man, you should be thankful, especially if you're a gardener, you're a person that has a green thumb. And if you if you have plans on or have wanted to grow a garden, I encourage you there. If you ever need any tips, Nomad can give you some, man. I can give you a bunch of tips on that because I love being in an urban environment and people coming through and seeing a nice, beautiful garden come up. It just strikes a good vibe to them, and it plants a seed with them, you know. People see you doing things like that in a place like this, and it gives them motivation to beautify their yard and give themselves a chance to do similar things. So I would encourage anybody that's been thinking about doing gardening, try that, man. I don't care where you live. If you got a piece of soil and you live in this region, man, you're going to grow. All you got to do is just, run it over, till it just a little bit, just kind of treat the land a little bit, just kind of scruff it, throw some doggone seeds out there, man. Next thing you know, you'll have stuff growing in your yard. So I encourage anybody that wants to, man, go ahead and do some gardening. It's fun. But let me shut my big mouth and pass it over to the SuperBack for some pleasantries.
Sports owners and no maniacs unite. Man, it's a beautiful day here in the Chicagoland area. 70, sunny and 70. Man, looking out the window, it is, and as you said, anytime you wake up and you open your eyes, it's a great day. And life's about perspective, and the perspective is we got a great day. We're alive. We have a lot of great football to talk about because our Bears kicked ass in the draft, and it's an exciting scene for all Bears fans. It's been a while, and we're really looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to it. People on the panel looking forward to it. Bears Nation is looking forward to it. So, man, let's get to it. Kedz in the building.
Yes, indeed. Kedz in the building. Bears in the building. Bishop in the building. SuperBack keeping it hot. Nomad gardening. Listen, I don't know if anybody watches. Adult Swim Black Jesus. But every time he gets on his gardening kick, it just reminds me of Black Jesus on Adult Swim.
Man, I've been trying to get Nomad on Black Jesus. He ain't never seen it, man. That is the stuff,
you know what I'm talking about, though, right?
I love Black Jesus.
Oh my goodness, Black Jesus it's just stupid funniness, but like basically Black Jesus trying to set up a garden, though. You know what I'm saying? Anyways, no maniacs. Good to see you guys out there. All the regulars in the building. My guy Plank is in the building. Florida Bears fan, Leo Factor, Cornelius Squalls, number 2, no maniac. My guy Cornelius. Paul Martin's here with us. Patty, hey Patty, how you doing, Patty? Armando, Junior, my bad, Junior. FFG style. Who else we got? King Booker World's rolling with us. AC Adam. Bruha, my guy from Canada, always representing. Be yourself, man. We got a packed house at Mas. Mr. Mayhem, probably Black Rain, man. Trapper Keeper's with us too. It's a packed show. Let's get it done, Bishop. What are you saying?
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. How y'all doing, man? How y'all doing? I don't know what I I heard a little snippet at the very end. All I heard was scruffing and soil. And I was like, scruffing and soil? What is Nomad talking about now?
What show did I just jump onto today?
Oh my, right. I'm like, I thought we was getting ready to talk football. We talking about gardening? Gardening. Either way, hey, look, everybody in the chat, how y'all doing today?
Nomad the naturalist. Nomad the naturalist.
Look, I'm gonna tell you right now, even just the vision of that, oh my God, I can only imagine, you know. But with that being said, hey, let me give my quick pleasantries to my loyalists out there. You know, how y'all doing out there? My man Stuart and Sophie out there in Florida, my boy V-Dub and the D out there on that truck, my special girl Rita, my sister Felicia. What's going on, y'all? Chicago, Chi-Town, West Side, South Side. Stand up. Boy, we getting ready to talk some Chicago Bear football. Man, looky here. I'm super, super excited. The more I think about it, man, the more excited I get, man. I am ready for OTAs. Kick it off today. Let's get it going. You know? You dig? Anyway, I'm going to pass it to my man Nomad so he can kick this show off so we can get into it. So, Nomad, what you say, my brother?
So let's get it. Thank you guys, man. And before we get all the way into the conversation, let me take a quick pause because I don't know if I did this the right way in the last couple of shows, but I want to send a special shout out to Hayes from Chicago Bears Central for jumping on with us, helping us with the draft coverage. I don't know if I really gave him a special shout out, but I want to really appreciate that brother for jumping in with us and being a part of what we did over the weekend. I really appreciate him, and I hope to connect with him doing some more content soon, man, because I appreciate his energy and what he brings to the podcast universe for the Bears out here. So I really appreciate that, guys. Special shout out to Hayes. But let's go ahead and get the comments. Yeah, let's get ready to get into this, man. But before we get into the UDFAs that we want to point out, man, and I'll be honest with you guys, I have been busy, and so I have not put 100% into to looking at film the way I normally would, but I have those three guys that you see on the screen. I would just say I'm about three quarters of the way complete with my thoughts on what they might bring to the table. So I feel good about speaking about them, but some of the other guys, I definitely got more work to do on them. But before we get into that conversation and the DJ Moore clip that's floating around YouTube, it's just a really short clip. And he's just talking about the connection him and Caleb are beginning to make. And I just want to point that out, and we'll discuss why I think that's really important. But some NFL news that's going on. Receiver news, Michael Gallup just signed a 1-year deal with the Raiders. So he was one of those guys that might have been an opportunity out there. Yeah, 1-year deal. I don't know, probably about $3 million for the Raiders. I thought that was dirt cheap for him. But we just got a blessing out there on free agency. I think this guy was a cap casualty. I've been looking at this guy for the last couple of years, hoping that we would make a play for him. But he's out there, and the opportunity is there for the Bears to jump in and see what they can do with him. But somebody that I think that can really bring something to our receiver core, which I think is good on the top end of it, but the bottom part of it, I'm not so sure about. But Zay Jones, receiver out of Jacksonville, I think he became a cap casualty today, and he made it to the free agent market. So keep an eye on that name, Zay Jones. Anybody familiar with him?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. He was with the Raiders, I believe, last year. Is that correct?
Jaguars, I think. Raiders.
Jaguars. He played with the Raiders, I think, before that, man. He's a good player. He's definitely somebody I had interest in the Bears picking up last year or when he became a free agent from the Raiders. And he's a good, solid player. He's not a superstar, but definitely somebody could contribute to this offense.
6'2", 200 pounds, good size.
He's fast. He's fast too.
And he's fast, man. He's definitely you talking about feeling like you can add a piece to upgrade your receiver core, and to do what you plan on doing is to make a real run at this thing. I think Ryan Poles has made his mind up that we're a good enough team to make a run. Otherwise, you don't grab a punter in the 4th round. period. He feels good about this roster. And to me, he signaled to everybody, this is how I feel. More than anything else, I took that after I was done being the Hulk. I took that draftee as a signal. He told us without telling us that this team is ready to compete and challenge for the playoffs, man. And so I can temper my expectations if I want to. It's me. I'm just an individual fan, but I think Ryan Poles just told us all, you don't need to temper your expectations. We feel like we got a team put together, and this pick right here just told everybody that's exactly what he's thinking. What about you, Shawn? You're on mute, bro.
Oh, yeah, it's definitely a comfort pick. It's not something you do. I mean, although he is a weapon, let's not get it twisted. He is a weapon, but yeah, you usually don't draft punters that high. But it does signal that he's ready. He's ready to win, and I think he's comfortable with all his acquisitions and the fact that there's some guys like the 3-tech. Everyone's talking about 3-tech. We didn't get a 3-tech. We didn't get a 3-tech. Well, I think he's ready and waiting to see Javon Dexter take that next step. So I feel he's comfortable with the 3-tech position. Him and Zach Pickens. Zach can go to the nose or the 3-tech. Either one, the 1 or the 3-tech doesn't matter. I just think he's ready for those guys to step up, and them being on the rookie contracts definitely much cheaper, much more affordable. So, yeah, I think Ryan Poles is excited about this year, as we all are, Bears fans, and I, like him, just can't wait, man. I can't wait till rookie minicamp goes, and OTAs, and training camp, and then the preseason and regular season. It's going to be quite the interesting one, that's for sure. That's for darn sure.
Quick, before you go, kids, I just want to speak to what Louis Joyce. Shout out to Louis Joyce. He said, Nomad, honestly, last year Trent was horrible in the punting game, though. You know what, Trent? Louis, I got to be real honest with you. I just didn't pay enough attention to it. Apparently, everybody else seemed to understand that Trenton Gill was pretty awful last year. Yeah, I just didn't. I mean, I'm so busy watching other parts of the game. I'm not gonna lie to you. Kicking is just the last thing I'm thinking about, unless something really pokes out. And I'm thinking back on it since we drafted that guy. I started thinking about a couple of, I think it might have been at least 1 or 2 punt blocks, might have been some close ones or something. I noticed that, but other than that, I didn't notice anything that really stuck out. Someone pointed out to me the amount of hang time that Trenton Gill was getting wasn't too good, and it was giving them too many opportunities to return balls. But, maybe, obviously Ryan Poles knows more than I do, and a lot of other people noticed how bad Trenton Gill was. But, hey, man, they say this. I started turning on a little bit of his tape late last night, and, yeah, man, he places balls very well, man. Pause. He puts balls in places that he puts them.
Try again.
Let me shut up, Shawn. Just go ahead, man.
He has the ability to deaden footballs inside the 10-yard line. How's that?
There you go.
Very good, Shawn.
Hey, that Holy Cross education is coming in handy, baby.
Here's where I am with all this. So we let go of Pat O'Donnell some time ago. Pat O'Donnell was kind of a consummate punter. He was really good at what he did. He was just getting a little long in the tooth and looking for a little bit more money. And the Poles regime came in, and they decided to part ways, brought in Trenton Gill. I'm right there with you. The funny thing for me is, like, now that we drafted a punter in the 4th, and this is just me being a jerk. Now that we drafted a punter in the 4th, all of a sudden the spotlight goes on Trenton Gill, and it's like, man, you realize how bad he was? He was real bad. Before that, nobody noticed how bad he was. I kind of did, just because after a couple of weeks, I was like, no, it was just after a couple of weeks of him starting, I was like, wait a minute, like, what happened to Pat O'Donnell? Where's Pat O'Donnell? And that just goes to show how much attention I pay to special teams, because I realized that Pat O'Donnell was let go and all that happened. But there was a clear and obvious drop-off immediately. He hadn't really picked up the slack for Pat O'Donnell in that role. And then you start to look at the actual footage of Torrey Taylor, and holy smokes, man. I can see why he jumped up and went and he got a punter in the 4th. Mind you, at the time, I was right there with Nomad, and I'm going, how do you get a punter over an edge rusher or a 3-tech? Like, how do you even do that? Well, the reason is he had a little something in his back pocket that he was about to dip into and get that edge rusher, if not the 3-tech, depending on who's floating around in the 5th. So he seemed comfortable, and I think that's where the comfort really came from. But I think we should all expect to see just an Iceman soldier by way of punting moving forward. So I've never been this excited about a punter before in my life. It may not last till the end of the week, but right now I'm pretty stoked about the punter. How about you, Bishop? Chris?
Hey, man, I was just going to say, you remember there was a little hoopla over Todd Sauerbrunn when he came in. If you guys remember
man,
that.
why'd you have to go and do that now?
Well, because he had a super leg. He just didn't have the control that this guy's supposed to have. He didn't have the placement. Sauerbrunn could kick.
And Sauerbrunn had guns too. Remember, he would tie up his sleeve.
Oh
yeah.
But he just after he kicked it, it went where it wanted to. It was high and long, and this guy apparently does not. He didn't get a lot of touchbacks. So.
Chris, how long ago was that, man? I remember the name Sauerbrunn. How long ago?
Sauerbrunn was. Did he play on the Super Bowl team?
Did he?
2006. I don't know, man.
Yeah. It was some time ago, brother.
Oh wow, yeah, dude, it's holy cow, bro. He was a long time ago. He was born in '73, so that's he's my age. So
he was 90s then.
1995, the number.
Yeah.
Another sucker. Sounded up the number.
You babies.
95 to 07. He finished with Denver in 07.
Oh, okay. Was he in Denver in 06?
I don't know.
No, New England.
How do y'all know that shit, man? A punter is like a piece of furniture to me, man.
That's how I know.
Man. Hey. Ask the do they know anything about Bob Parsons?
Bob Parsons, number 86.
He was number 86. He was a punter, but he was a tight end.
Tight end, yeah.
That's right. Don't play with me.
He booted it, and the tight end.
I'm one of the few people I know who've actually played in the NFL personally. Is a punter. I know a punter who played for, I believe, the New York Giants, if not the Jets.
I tell you what, if a punter, I don't give a damn how good they say he is until you prove it to me. If I'm on that team, you're still going over in that corner and sitting at a tiny ass desk until you show me something. By yourself while the rest of the team.
See, you're so wrong, man. You're so wrong.
You I hear Sauerbrunn that. Sauerbrunn might have busted you upside your head.
Yeah,
I heard he's pretty big, man.
He was jacked. But hey, this punter, dude, I'm telling you, I played with some punters. And I tell you, that first dude, his ability to, it literally 90 degrees, it hit about the 3-yard line, went 90 degrees right to the sideline on a couple coffin corners, and he did it to the right side and to the left side. I'm like, well, how do you get the spin? And then he hit it right down the middle of the field, and that thing deadened. It hit right around the 5-yard line, bounced straight up, and then boom, bounced right there and deadened right there at the 5. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like, I saw him laughing. I heard him laughing, and I was like, dude, how in the blue hell did you do that? And he just started laughing.
You know what I'm excited about, man, is I want to see how he adjusts his kicks to how the wind swirls in Soldier Fields, man, and because that alone can be a very good weapon, and I love it myself. I love the pick, man. With regard to it, just shows that, man, Poles is really playing chess and not checkers, you know, and to be able to find a guy, man, that can literally give you an advantage and pin offenses back, you know, behind the 5-yard line more times than none is going to be amazing for us, man, in terms of being able to really unleash that defense that we're going to have, bro. Man, look, if nobody else got excited about it, I did, because I like the kid. I watched a couple Iowa games, man. And I was like, this kid here, man, where they find this dude at, man? You know, and to what you were saying yesterday, Shawn, regarding the guy that you played with, man, you know, and this is not a dig at Nomad, but I get it, man, because most people don't give punters or kickers, you know, much credit for anything outside. Go over there and kick, man. Yeah, shut up, you know. But when you find a guy, man, with a foot or a leg like that, man, you know, you start making him part of the team, you know, and that's the thing. This guy is going to be a part of the team. You know, I think he's going to be he's going to win over that locker room as well, man. You know, I can see him after the games, man, when they got the music playing, man, he'll be in the middle of the floor a lot too, you know. Although now Caleb did tell him you're not going to be punting too often, you know, so I hope he kind of hold him true to his word. But when he does, I just want him to handle his business, man, and pin those guys back, man, and let the defense handle their business. So, but anyway, let's move on to some other things.
Before we do, you know what's funny is, like, if you're watching Iowa football, you're watching an Iowa football game, and your first reaction is like, "Holy smokes, the punter!" Though, you know you're watching some BS football. It's really all I gotta say.
Bro, I'm telling you,
I will take the punter.
Kids.
Listen, do not poo-poo this.
I'm not poo-pooing the punter. I'm not.
You guys forget.
I'm poo-pooing Iowa football.
You know what I mean? Like, so many people, not just you kids, but like people forget how important that third phase is. Devin Hester flipped the field. And I'm not just talking about his touchdown runs. All right, there were times we returned it 20, 30, 40 yards. And that just literally negated the whole punt. There's a 40-yard punt, boom, 40-yard, boom. You get the ball right back in plus territory. That flips the field. And when and think about how that helps Caleb. With this stud defense where they're at, you get a 3 and out, you punt, they're punting from their end zone. So any kind of return get you in positive territory. So now you're asking Caleb to go 48.5 yards, not 60 yards, not 75 yards. And the more short fields that you have, you're going to score. It's just a law of averages. It's just the law of averages. And plus, don't forget, with that defense, man, you screw up once, holding, safety, tip ball, pick, interception. A lot of bad things can happen when you're inside your 10, inside your 5 yard, your own 5 yard line coming out. So I'm telling you, trust me, I get it. Everyone looks at it, but you have to look at offense, defense, and special teams. And when you got a guy who can flip the field and put the opposing offenses coming out that deep, I'm telling you, at least 10 to 20 times this year. If I can remember to count, I will when I'm at home, when I'm in the press box. Sometimes I do some other stuff, but when I'm on the road, if I'm not there, I should be able to count on TV. But I'm going to try and see if I can and keep a tally of how many times he punts people inside the 10. That's a crazy stat, man. That's gonna be huge for this offense, especially with a young quarterback.
Y'all killing my damn spirit.
I was just trying to say,
man, but I'd be remiss not to get out of this to get out of this conversation without telling y'all this funny story, Shawn, man. And you guys, man, look, I went to Oklahoma's football camp 2 years. I'd have probably played at Oklahoma, had them coaches stayed there. But let me tell you, I got to tell you this funny story. So I'm out here and I'm the SHIT on a stick at this camp, and I'm balling. And so next thing you know, we out here. Next thing you know, the wind picking up. We hear a helicopter hovering over the top. And I'm like, what is that helicopter flying? Because the coaches have now gotten us to all the way back at the back side of the sidelines, all the way back there to almost where the bleachers and stuff are, the stadium, the seats are. So he's got us all the way back. And I'm like, what's going on? Next thing you know, this helicopter comes hovering over the field. Next thing you know, it's like it's coming down. I'm like, what the hell's going on? The wildest things would be going through your mind if you've seen something like this for the first time. I'm like, okay, there's some X-File. What's going on here, man? You know, what is this, man? So the helicopter puts it down and turns off the blades and everything. Guess who jumps out? Old man, the $1 million man, Ted DiBiase.
That's funny.
Ted DiBiase dressed up in the $1 million man get up and everything, man. He's all decked out in that whole $1 million man get up. He gets out on the field, and I'm thinking for sure this dude is coming over here. He's some kind of special guest. He's coming over here to greet me because I'm thinking I'm the SHIT. I'm telling you, I was balling out there. And you know what? He gets out and the thing gets quiet. And you know what? He said, and he's got that briefcase in his hand and everything. And he says, man, where's this goddamn punter that I've been hearing so much about? So it's this punter, man, from damn the Appalachian Mountains of Tennessee, some damn where that I didn't even know was out there at the camp. He comes all the way over there, and the first thing out of his mouth is, where's that goddamn punter I've been hearing so much about? Well, I was so pissed off. I just knew this dude came out here to talk to me and a couple of other guys that were balling too. Man, it was for a punter. I just had to put that out there. I was pissed
And then
off.
that's funny because, we've got like the number 1, number 2 ranked player in the nation, high school player in the nation here in Kokomo. And Tom Izzo came to see him play this past. And you know what? That's how he landed. He came in on a private helicopter and landed on the high school football field. And nobody knew what was happening. They thought it was, some type of government intervention or something.
Men in Black.
Yeah, and it was Tom Izzo coming to watch a basketball game.
It'll trip you. I've never been in any proximity to see a helicopter land or nothing like that before. It was just trippy. The whole situation was trippy, and he got out with all that $1 million. He had all that stuff on, man. And he's an old man by this point. And he gets out in that whole act that's going on, and he goes right for the punter. Where's that goddamn punter I hear so much about?
Everybody has a price.
Man, it was kicked out, man. But I just had to share that with you guys. I thought that was a funny story. We're sitting here talking about punters, and that happened my junior year in high school, man. Never forget it. But let's talk turkey, man. Let's get into some football and some of the UDFAs that we picked up. And we said it, man. We said this so many times, Shawn, that if polls were not to take this trade down and get this haul, they were going to have to do yeoman's work in the UDFA market. And I'm feeling like, I can't say that I feel like my chest is poking out about every one of these guys they have, because my chest doesn't. It's quite a few of those guys that I don't think have any chance whatsoever at making this team or even getting to a camp. Let's just say that. But there are a few guys, and you've seen on the thumbnail for right now, that are sticking out to me. And that's what we came here to talk about. There's several other guys that I still need to take time to really look at. But Chris, do you still have the visual for like the RAS score for Ian Wheeler?
No, I didn't know we did it again. I got rid of all this stuff. We had so much stuff in the brand channel, so I got rid of a lot of it.
It's all right. I think most people are familiar with the running back from Howard, MEAC player. You know what I mean? He's if you watched him on film, I know most people have spent some time, taking a look at some of these UDFAs. He's about, let me see the measurables on this kid before I get to talking.
You're talking to running back, right?
Yeah, Ian Wheeler. He's 5'11", 205. And cat's pretty explosive, man. I think he ran like a 4.3, 40.44 or something like that.
That's nice.
Yeah, he's got long speed, man. He can get it and take it to the house, man. Once he's up to top speed, man, I don't think it's too many people are going to catch him. But really, really explosive. He came on the radar for me probably midway through this season. I can't think of the cat's name to save my life, but it's a HBCU podcaster that does all the stuff about, because we don't give enough credit to some of the black college players, man. We just don't. Some real good players down there, but I really like this kid. He's explosive. I mean, he's strong too, man. His contact balance is really good. I mean, you're not gonna one guy's not gonna arm tackle this cat. He's pretty strong and explosive, man. So did anybody get a chance to check this guy out at all?
No, him I didn't.
Nobody?
I didn't either. No, I didn't get a chance to know.
So all I can tell you is that he's also a return specialist, right? So there may be some shakeup with Dante Pettis and Velus Jones, to be honest with you. So we'll see what that looks like. I'll be completely frank here, though. I don't really see him making it into that running back room unless he's got some sort of additional special teams value, which he may. So we'll have to see.
I know every last one of these guys it's an uphill battle for every single last one of these guys. I don't know that any one of them, even Keith Randolph, even the quarterback, who I think is pretty good, they Austin Reed that they signed, he's a whole conversation within himself. But I think every last one of them are uphill battle. But I think the ones that we're talking about right now, I think have the better chance. And I won't close the end of that conversation because I haven't studied them all. But for right now, I think these three guys have the best leg up given the situation. But Ian Wheeler, man, he is like a young Marion Barber. little bit smaller, but he's explosive and powerful, just like Marion Barber. You get that's a good comp for him. Who is that? Go Blue. That's a very good comp for him because you start to see Marion Barber. I don't know how many people remember Marion Barber, but he was the beast on that field. They call him the Barbarian for a reason.
Just wouldn't go out of bounds.
Yep.
You had to do that. Like that was exactly what I remember from Marion Barber.
Number 21 of the Bears, and the Cowboys. Wasn't he 21 of the Bears too?
Well, he's basically the reason. He's the end of the Lovie Smith era.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He used him in the short yardage a lot of times.
No, he was great this season. It was one game. It was the final game of the season. All he needed to do was go out of bounds, and we would have basically Lovie Smith would probably. I won't say he'd still be here, but
he was supposed to stay in bounds. He was supposed to stay in bounds, and he went out of bounds. He was supposed to stay in bounds and keep the clock running.
You're right. It's the other way around. You're right. That's what it was. He was supposed to keep the clock running, and he ran out of bounds and stopped the clock. That's it. Yeah.
I remember yelling, "What are you doing?"
And he was really good. I'm trying to remember who he'd taken over for at the time, but he was playing very well, man. I like Barber.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
You guys, did anybody get a chance to check out that quarterback from Western Kentucky, Austin Reed?
I just saw some highlights, and that dude can sling it.
Yeah, he can spin it.
Yeah, I think he's we got into a little bit. People got a little huffy.
Don't do it. Mr. Shorty will come checking for you again.
I don't know why he's so upset, man. I just think I love Tyson Bagent and what he can bring to the table. He was a UDFA too. You know what I mean? And if they go out and get a UDFA quarterback after doing that last year, what does that tell you? What does that tell you? Is it, to me, it signals no. It's not saying no, we're not going to keep Tyson Bagent. I don't think it says that at all. What it says to me is there might be a moment in time just to get another kid on the roster that they need on the roster that week. And instead of putting Tyson Bagent on the roster that week, he can find himself on the what do they call that? The practice squad. And if he does, you need insurance to back that guy up. That's what it says to me more than anything. Keith, what's going on? What you think?
I think Tyson Bagent is on his way to the Raiders, bro. He's going to be reunited with Kedz at some point in time after OTAs and training camp, brother. I think this kid is going to outcompete him.
I'm telling you, I said that yesterday.
I get it. I get it. I'm sorry. Don't get me wrong. Now, look. Look.
Whips, bats, and chains. That's all I know. I see people in the street right now with tiki torches and shit.
Hey, look, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm sorry. I get it. But look, arm strength is arm strength. And this kid, Austin Reed, has arm strength. He can spin it. And I think when it all comes down to the actual competition of it all, it's a very distinct possibility that he will outcompete Tyson for that third spot. I just,
Well, Keith, what plays into his favor and to that argument is they're both starting even Steven with a brand new coordinator. I would say something different if Kedz was still here. I would say he doesn't beat Bagent out, man, because Bagent knows what to do already and has a leg up on him. He's not going to beat him out in this camp.
And really, this is not a bad thing for Tyson either, because the Raiders did absolutely nothing for a quarterback during the draft. Absolutely nothing. So to get a guy that is familiar with Kedz's scheme and system will bode them well, and it'll bode him well, man. I mean, don't get me wrong. I mean, I'm not against Tyson at all. I thought
he might be a better opportunity in Vegas for him.
Yeah, I really do. I'm actually rooting for the kid, man. I I wasn't never against Tyson Bagent. I was against those that was just so rah, to put him before the previous quarterback that we had. But, with that being said, I think this is an opportunity. It could bode an opportunity for him to go and latch on with the Raiders, man, and help Kedz get his system implemented. And who knows, man? He's a scrappy dude, man. So I think he kind of fit into the Raider culture as well, as far as the locker room, man. So
Let me
It's
answer
just
Mike
me.
Davidson. Let me answer Mike Davidson real quick, guys, if you don't mind. Mike Davidson is asking, "What's up, Mike? Y'all think Post could get the Raiders to trade for Bagent?" I think it's a I think if Getsy is high on him, as I think you remember the presser when Bagent finally got his opportunity and how Getsy's whole demeanor changed when it came to talking about him. I think they yeah, it was, man. I think if I had to guess, I would say, and somebody earlier in the chat said that Raiders didn't even draft a quarterback.
They didn't. They did absolutely nothing. Look at the names of their quarterbacks, man. You scratch here and be like, who?
So hold on a second. While we're if we're talking about the Raiders, do recognize it wasn't for lack of trying. So they tried to trade up with, and the only reason I'm telling you this is because
probably wanted Penix, man. They probably was trying to get Penix.
They tried to trade up for any of these guys, any of these available quarterbacks. Yeah. Just nobody was willing to move. If you notice, there was no trades during the first 10 selections. Everybody stood pat, got the guys they wanted to get, and that's what it was. Raiders were dying to get somebody. It was just not in the cards. So they picked who they picked. The fact that they didn't grab a quarterback later in the draft or even in UDFA, that's unfortunate.
To answer your question, Mike, to answer your question really quick and simply, I would just say it wouldn't surprise me if they tried to do something and move and got him. But I think they'll be patient because the signs say that, that he's going to end up out there on the practice squad eventually. And when we find him, we'll scoop him. But
no, he's not. Why?
He's going to end up on the practice squad sooner or later.
No, he's not.
I bet he does.
There's how many quarterbacks are on this team?
3. Yeah, and the quarterback they brought in from LA has a better leg up than any of them because he knows the
Ripken. Go ahead. Brett Ripken's going to wind up on the practice squad because they have to pay him. I'm just common sense. Who are you paying? Right. So if that's the guy that they're paying, he's going to be the guy on the practice squad. He's going to be up for grabs. Somebody else can pay him someplace else, and that's fine. They've put some level of capital into these other guys, whether it's UFDA. They want to develop these guys, and I think that is actually the best thing for Chicago. Period. And this is why, to me, the whole the agency love out there is kind of silly and funny. But if he turns into a guy, heck, I'd rather have that guy on the squad down the road. Same goes for the new young gentleman. Train him up, develop him. Let's go. Ripken only has 4 starts. That's not much experience. There you have that, right? Like, I wouldn't trust Ripken under any circumstances outside of maybe knowledge of the game, like knowledge of the scheme. If he has knowledge of Waldron's scheme, a good place for him to be. But outside of that.
That's exactly where he's going to be. What he's going to do is going to be the liaison. He's going to be the coach, the player coach for Caleb. That's all he's going to be doing. And just through training camp is pretty much it. Because you still, even though you're in training camp, you still only technically have so many hours so that you can have contact with the players. All right. And so this way you get the guy who understands the system and there's no limit to how long players can be in contact with each other. So this way you got an extension of the coach, all right, working with Caleb, and then he'll be gone, at last cuts or something like that. He's definitely not going to be on the scene, and that's what they're paying him for. They're paying him for tutoring. Basically, he's a tutor. Yeah.
So I think to be clear, and we'll get off this conversation. I think if there's an opportunity where they can keep him, they should do the best they can to keep Bagent. I think, and I think Shawn is right. That liaison for Ripien to come in and kind of help coach up the players, coach inside the coaching, what I mean, will help them. But once they're up to par, I think it's worth keeping Bagent, man. I do. I think it's worth, I think he's value. He's got value, man. He can bring something to the team. Probably never going to see the field unless something strange happens. But, I think he's valuable.
Injuries not strange. Injuries not strange. He could be in a heartbeat. Week 1. We don't want to see it, but let's be honest. So, and I think Bagent is a good guy, a guy to hold the fort down. What was he, 2-2 last year? So, yeah, Bagent's definitely a good backup.
Bro, and if he shows out again, right? If he shows out again, then you can really think about gaining capital for trading him down the road. And that's really what you want to do. That's a position you want to be in. You don't want to be in a position where somebody scoops him up off of your practice squad and you've lost that development, right? You don't want to lose that. You want to maximize on it. That's my 2 cents.
We'll see, man. How about, because I just like that kid they just picked up, man. I think he's going to be impressive in camp. I think that's one of those names I would tell everybody in the chat, everybody listening to my voice. That's a name, Austin Reed. I would circle that and keep an eye on how he develops with the scheme. Something about him they really liked, and they had an eye on him, and they got on him right away. I think he was one of the first 1 or 2 guys that they picked up when UDFA when the market opened up. But the second guy that he was either 1 or 2. The second guy, Keith Randolph, which I'm pretty sure everybody is more kind of read in on Keith Randolph and what he might bring to the table. But before I do my descriptions, man, Shawn, what do you really think about Keith Randolph and what he can bring?
I think he's another guy who I think it can be maximized by Coach Washington. He's a guy that I think that it's Illinois product, so you always want to see if you can get hometown products, not saying from Chicago, but in-state products to stay and do well. Then cool. I think he's he's good. I don't see him making a huge impact, but I could see him at best being in the rotation. At best, being in the rotation, or at anything less, maybe just sometimes dressing, sometimes not type guy. So.
Go ahead, Kedz. You on mute, Kedz, by the way.
Yeah, no, that's all I really got on this whole quarterback situation. I would just like them to actually, do that the one Ryan Pace thing that I was in full agreement with. That
we're talking about Keith Randolph, right?
Oh, are we? Damn, I'm sorry. Sorry. If we're talking about Keith Randolph, he's a bowling ball, man. That's what he is. He's a bowling ball. He's coming through. See how I transitioned right off of quarterback right back in. Keep it rolling, keep it moving. Randolph is nice. I'm a little worried about how, and this goes for every position as we get deeper into the UDFA. I'm worried about how he really makes it into this room. I think there's room for a 3 tech. I'm not so sure if there's room for a 1 tech. He's more of a 1 tech to me. He's more of an Andrew Billings. And I think Billings, I don't know about the rest of you guys. I think Billings is a guy. Like, I really do. I love his demeanor out there. The thing for me, I really miss that Akeem Hicks in the center of that defensive line. And I feel that Billings is the new one, man. Hey, you like that one, Lewis? You see that? You see how I just
That's what I was laughing at.
I may have.
Read it off.
I think it's funny. No, I'm not reading that. I'm not reading
all the audio people said Kedz took his PM gummy this AM.
That is possible, but no gummies for the guy, man.
That can neither be confirmed nor denied.
All right, man. That's a Larry Goodman trip, man. So what say you, Bishop, man? What do you think about Keith Randolph?
I think, man, it's a good opportunity. Again, they're just addressing depth, man. They're addressing depth. But this is a good kid that if you get opportunity if you can stash him away on the practice squad and develop him, it may bode well, man. Again, we always got to consider, injuries, but I think the kid has a future in the NFL, whether it be with us or someone else. But I think for the Bears, they're just really addressing depth. And they're identifying now. I think they have an idea of what their identity is, and they're adding guys that's going to fit that identity. And this kid is pretty doggone. I think he's good, man, and I think he can definitely be a good depth piece for that D line behind Billings, man. I think he can. I think it'd be a good pickup, man. But in worst case, he'll be stuck on they put him on the practice squad and try to hide him best they can.
So I'm gonna speak to this because I heard Jalen Johnson on. I think he was on 670 last night. I caught a clip of that. he was talking, and I hope, man, Jalen Johnson, don't ever go back to that show, man. They cut you off, and they did that on purpose. I just wanted to say that, Jalen Johnson, if you ever hear the sound of my voice talking about, don't go back on that show. I don't know if you guys saw that, but they cut him off on purpose yesterday.
No.
He was talking something they didn't want to really hear about, and they cut his ass off.
What was he saying? I don't remember that. I didn't see it.
You felt like it was on purpose?
Yeah, man, it was clear. Man, just go back and look at it again. Man, it was clear they did that on purpose.
I watched
man.
It too.
You didn't think they did?
I don't know. He was going down a very interesting road. I was kind of surprised
they didn't want to hear about it.
But I guess maybe they didn't want to hear it. It was breaking up, so they found an excuse and got him off the line. But I continue.
Look at AC Adam. You know, man, they did him bogus, man. They did him bogus. I wouldn't go if I was him. I wouldn't go back on it. He's probably got.
He's contractually obligated.
Yeah,
is he really?
Contract with him. Yeah, but that was bogus. I seen how I didn't like.
You don't come on every week. You're not coming on every week. You don't get players to come on every week. You gotta. Yeah, they're on a contract. He's on a contract.
Reason and palms. But hey, how about this, man? Let me say this about Keith Randolph. And in that conversation, Jalen said exactly what I've been thinking all season. We need some more bigs that up front. You know, some bigs that can play, you know, multiple positions, man. We definitely need some more bigs, and he definitely fits the bill. Here's my thoughts on Keith Randolph. I think Keith Randolph has a lot of meat on the bone. I mean, a lot of meat. So what I have to say about oh God, pause. But
oh geez,
man, you something else, man. Hey, but listen, he's got a lot of upside, and I'm gonna tell you why. The fact that he's playing with Johnny Newton, and Johnny Newton being, I think you can say easily he's the more explosive of the two. Johnny Newton being that person, and so it was advantageous for them to have Keith Randolph play more of one tech. So what does one tech do versus a three tech? Three tech is there to penetrate the guard tackle spots and try to get upfield, reset the line of scrimmage. The one tech is typically going to be the guy that, if it's going to be a double team, it's usually going to be the one right over the center, right? And so he was able to absorb a bunch of double teams, and whereas Johnny Newton was able to take advantage of a bunch of one-on-ones and get most of the shine. So it's going to be interesting to me to see how they view him. Do they view him as a person they want to give an opportunity to play some three tech instead of one, because he's only 305 pounds. Now, he's got the build to be able to put on 15 pounds pretty quick. All it takes is one night of Golden Corral, and there you got it with a body type like that. And so
he's strong as hell too.
Very strong, man. So I think he's got a lot of upside. And they jumped out and got him right away. And I don't know exactly the amount of money that he got, but they gave him a significant chunk so that he wouldn't be swayed by some other team making him an offer. And so I would imagine the Bears offered him more than any other team coming in. And so, you know, they've got plans for him, or they wouldn't have jumped out right away to grab him and secure him after the draft. So whether or not we think he can make the team or not, I believe they do. And I'm pretty sure that we can use that depth. And I could see him playing up and down. And I can't see him doing his playing edge. I don't see edge rusher in him whatsoever. One tech, three tech, anything on the interior, I could see some production and some depth coming out of him. So those are my thoughts on him. Anybody else want before we switch up?
Yeah, well, real quick, it's like, here's an opportunity. If you felt slighted, if you felt that you were, you know, you got the short end of the stick, so to speak, then hey, here's your chance for motivation. All right. No, not that one. No. Here's your motivation. All right. If you feel you're overlooked, here's your motivation. All right. Local kid. And so it may happen. And again, I don't think I'm not putting him in Canton. I'm not even giving him an all pro, but he might make the team and he might be a good contributor to his defense.
Shawn,
how much
check this out at the bottom. Scottish Bear made a good. I wonder if you can see what he's saying. If you can read it off, man, if you don't mind.
Yeah, he said Keith Randolph Jr. Okay.
All right. Scottish Bear Keith Randolph Jr. will make someone's 53. He won't make the practice squad. His comp is more Eddie Goldman like. I can see it.
What say you, Shawn?
Well, again, here's your chance. Here's your motivation. All right, you're overlooked. You're passed over. Here's a shot. And sometimes that's all you need. I mean, that's really all you need. And sometimes getting passed over is the motivation that, first of all, getting a shot, getting drafted, getting selected UDFA, should be motivation enough. But sometimes this could put him over the edge and make him be one of the better one techs, all right, or three techs, or just one interior D lineman in the NFL. At least give him a career. So hopefully he uses this as motivation and balls out, man. So good luck to him. And because if he balls out, that's one great thing for the Bears. And the thing is, you really want to make sure that you can find these diamonds in the rough. And if you get a guy who's a contributor in the rotation on D line, that's a UDFA. That's a diamond in the rough, man.
Yeah, brother. Yes, sir.
So, hey, you know what? Before we get to the last guy on the list, man, one that I'm most excited about so far, Jamree Kromah. We're gonna get to him, but before we do that, man, let's get a quick station ID in real fast.
The best Chicago Bears content anywhere. Catch Nomad Live pregame 1 hour prior to kickoff and Nomad at Night postgame, and every Friday evening at 7 p.m. Central on all the most popular streaming platforms, and only on the Nomad Network.
That is right, you guys, man. If you appreciate the content that we put out here, which we work so hard to do and to produce for you guys, we go out of our way to make sure you guys get great content every day on a regular basis, man. At least you can hit the like button, because I heard earlier there was only 42 likes. There's almost 120-something people in the chat. Come on, guys, help us out. At least do that for us. But if you're feeling real generous and it costs you nothing, go ahead and hit the subscribe button, man, because if it were me and I was on the other side of this, and I was for a long time looking at podcasts and looking for content and trying to find something that feels authentic, because a lot of stuff out there is very scripted, very bubblegumish, be honest with you, and it's no shot at anybody else, but it's not very attractive content. This thing right here we do is very free-flowing. It's very off the cuff. We do work to make sure we produce the stuff, but you never know what to expect here. And if I was on the other side of this and not doing this content, this would be the place I would be regular at and make sure I was subscribed to and made sure my notification bell was hit, because you never know when we're going to come on and we might have some breaking news to bring to you guys. But if it were me, I'm always subscribed to stuff like this. It's hard to find content that feels real. You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to pat ourselves on the back, but I know that what we put out is very, very authentic, and people seem to like it. And, do us that favor and hit the sub button. And I want to say thank you to everybody that's newly subscribed to both our channels, both here at the Nomad Network and Sports Zone Chicago. All you new subs, man, we really appreciate you guys for that. But
yes, we do.
Yeah. And so let's get into the last part of the conversation. Jamree Kromah. Let me look at this guy's measurables, man. I think he's 6'4", 275 pounds.
Yep.
That within itself, so let me say this, man, because I was watching him. He's the last guy I was looking at late last night. I had a late night, and he's the last guy I was looking at. And right before the end, right before I got ready to turn it off and was real sleepy, I run into Adam Mason, put a video out. And so anybody that's interested in Jamree Kromah and want to hear another breakdown, check out Adam Mason. He did a really good one. And I saw that late last night, and he's in alignment with exactly what I'm thinking right now. I think this guy is okay, Shawn, I'm going to say this. I think he has the earmarks of a Eric Washington pickup. And so 6'4", 275, he's got 33, 34-inch arms or something like that. He could classify as a flute type of guy too. But I'm looking at some of the Buffalo players that he had along that defensive line. It wouldn't surprise me if they see him as an interior guy more than they see him as an edge guy. But he can definitely bring both to the table. So I don't know how much you guys have been looking at him. What are you guys' thoughts on Jamree Kromah, defensive end from James Madison?
One, he's he seemed like he was. I liked him. All right, he seemed like he was definitely a not saying playing above his level. He was one of the better guys on the team. All right, he made you take notice. He reminded me of like Baby Huey. All right, he reminded me of Baby Huey. Like he's wearing a tight jersey. He's got a little belly. I just thought of Baby Huey. But he's just a guy who just seemed to dominate inside, and I like that. I like to see people who can dominate at their position. So now you're stepping up with the big boys, and not that James Madison is not, definitely isn't one of the top schools or the Power 5, but you dominate where you play.
Yeah, no business being there, Shawn. It's like
he didn't. But that's what you want to see when you go look at lower D1 guys or 1AA guys or FCS or Division II. You want to make sure that you get someone who dominates that level. He did. I mean, I'm telling you, he just looked like he was like it was almost comical. Like his stuff was so small and so compact, like it didn't fit him because he was too big. But that's how they like it. They like their uniforms real small and tight and whatever. But I liked his explosiveness. I liked his drive. I liked his tenacity. I was like, oh man, he played with a little bit of a bit of an attitude, and I liked it. And I liked it a lot. And
not only that, Shawn, no. I gotta add to what you're saying there. Attitude is an understatement.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for kids. He's got a islandy name to him. I want to see. I haven't found out. Does he have a Caribbean heritage, man? Some kind of Jamree. That's it makes you think a Caribbean kind of guy, man. But Shawn, that's a light way of putting it, man. This guy plays with a certain kind of hunger, man. This dude, he's like, dude, he is hungry, and the way he plays football, man, dude, this dude, if they line him up on the inside, if they see him more as a 3-tech, Shawn, and more than an edge rusher, and they work him out there, he's got the body to put on a quick 10 pounds. He's got the body to put on a quick 10 pounds, so he can go from 175 to 185, I think, in his lower body pretty damn quick. If they see him as a 3-tech, he is going to be insanely productive, man. I think it's going to be hard to stop him if they line him up on the inside.
I do too. Like I said, his whole to me, the one thing that I like looking at is their nastiness. All right. A lot of time, and and then he's got obviously some good skill. You can get by with skill. All right, but you sprinkle some nastiness on there, or you sprinkle some skill onto some nastiness, man, now you're cooking with gas. And I think that's what they're doing with this guy. They're taking a flyer again. You know what? You can never have too many rotational pieces on that defensive line. Never, ever, because you just want to keep going in waves and waves and waves, and because offensive linemen don't rotate very much, if at all, depending on the squad. They don't rotate it. Now you got different dudes who are fresh. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot.
Shawn, before you go, kids, I got to say this, man. He's my sleeper dog. I'm putting my flag on him right now. That's the guy. That's the guy out of all the guys I've seen so far. He's the guy that I'm going to be, all the reporters that I get a chance to communicate with. I'll be on Herb and on Shapiro. If this guy gets into the camp and they start playing, I'm gonna be very interested in what position they're gonna do everything with him. But I think if they put him on the interior, man, watch the F out, man. He's gonna be explosive. But kids, I ain't mean to interrupt you, but go ahead, man.
No, I don't have much on the kid. I just expect some good competition on that line at this point, especially by way of Dominique Robinson. You have to look at Dom Rob as a developmental case scenario, and you also have to look at Jamree as the very same thing. The question is, who's going to be in a Bears uniform in 2024? I'll reserve judgment and wait to find out who that actually is.
Before you go, Bishop, J2K, if you want to come back and as we start profiling some of these UDFAs, because J2K did some real good work on these guys. He's probably more informed than I. Well, I probably to it. I haven't had as much time to get into him. He's more informed on him than even I. And I've done some homework, man. And J2K, if you want to jump in with us and help us out, give some insight to some of these guys. Even tomorrow will be good, or the next day, whenever you got time to do it, man. We'll be profiling as many of them as we can, leading into mini camp. But my fault, Bishop. I just wanted to offer that to J2K. You on mute, brother.
Sorry about that. Think about it, man. Again, another potential quality depth piece. You got Zach Pickens. This guy here is going to be that guy that can spell with Zach Pickens, I believe. And when we talk about Eric Washington and the different stunts and the way he uses that D line, man, this kid's get off, his hand usage is going to fit in very well with what Eric Washington likes to do, man. It is going to be amazing to see how this rotation is on this D line, man. It's his, some of his hybrid packages. You got guys, man, and like you said, Nomad, with regard to not, offensive linemen don't get an opportunity, to rotate out. So you keep fresh bodies on these guys, man. And what we're seeing now is strength, hands, footwork, all of those combinations, and you rotating guys in and out is going to spell well for this defense again. So again, another quality pickup. You knew that they targeted this guy. They wanted him. And I just think, man, it's going to just bode well, man. And now, and breed competition, keep these guys fresh, keep and the competition aspect of it all, man. And guys that can play multiple positions along that defensive line. It's going, I think I'm going to use the word funky. It's going to be very funky on that D line, baby.
So I tell you, two things really stick out to me about this guy, and it's important notes to point out. Number one is he is strong as an ox. You thinking 275, no way he's going to be able to line up on the interior and be effective. Nah. See, the strength that he has, you match that up with the overall speed and quickness that he has. You match that up, and he uses his hands extremely well, man. Really strong hands, man. Sheds blocks really good, and he's never dead on a play. He's never dead on a play. If that play is on active, totally opposite side of the field, he's going to make himself. He's gonna get there. I just got to take my hat off to the scouting department, the coaches, and whoever was responsible for identifying this guy as a piece that could fit in what we do. Hats off and kudos to them. This guy is a steal, and to find him in the UDFA market, I think is obscene. I think his tape is that good looking to me. I just think we really got our hands on one this time, and that's the guy I want to be paying attention to come camp, man. I feel hella good about this kid, and I can't wait to talk some more about him. But man, you know what? We're an hour and 4 minutes into this thing, man, and I want to keep on going, man, because I could talk about this dude for another 30, 45 minutes, but that's how good I feel about him. But here we are, hour and 4 minutes into the show, man, and we got to get ready to wrap this thing up so we can save something for tomorrow for you guys. But let's give some pleasantries out, Shawn, before we get ready to get out of here.
Sports owners and Nomadiacs Unite. Good show. Do me a favor, follow Sports Zone Chicago's YouTube page. We appreciate it. Follow the Nomad Network's YouTube page. We appreciate it. Good talk. We got off. We were talking a little bit about the punter and stuff like that earlier, but it's still Bears talk, and it's still we got back to the UDFAs, and it's good. I like some of these guys. I'm looking forward to them, and all you ask is is an opportunity. That's all you want. All right, if you're an athlete, if you're a competitor, that's all you want is an opportunity, and you know what, you have one. All right, these guys have the opportunity, and it doesn't matter if you. Jamree reminds me of that dude who's like super motivated, like the guy you have to reel back. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like he's just like, oh, hold on, young fella, chill. He's like, all right, because he's trying, and I think that's good. I think that's good because I'd rather have to pull a guy back and ramp him down than have him get excited. Saying get ramped up and get him fired up. Like, no, like if you ain't fired up because this is the opportunity of millions and millions of people wish they could have. he better take advantage of it. These guys better take advantage of it. And if they
know,
do, it's better for them.
In college, Shawn, you know what we call them in college? We call them a full go. We call anybody that put like the walk-ons and stuff like that, we call, hey, we got some full goes. And they play like their hair is on fire at all times. And that's how you play.
Because they need to get noticed. They're trying to get noticed. They're trying to, whatever they got to do. And you know what, Papa, do it. If that gets you noticed, if that gets you on the, back and forth between practice squad and that, the active roster, whatever you got to do, get it done, because it's going to benefit you. It's going to benefit the team. It's going to benefit this whole organization with the more studs that we have on a defensive line. So, all right, we will see you mañana. All right. I'll kick it down to my man. Kedz in the building.
Kedz in the building. Look, it's always awesome chopping it up with you guys on all of these things, especially UDFA. I always mess that up. It's funny. I'm checking out the chat, and a couple of things popped off. So first thing that popped off is apparently there's a Kendrick Lamar song out there that's going crazy called Euphoria. We should all listen to it. I will be doing that. Thank you, Thomas Gage. Secondarily, Don Burke kind of put things into perspective for me, which generally doesn't happen. Don Burke came out there and he kind of said, you know what? Everybody's team's kind of saying the same thing right now about UDFA and how there's a needle in a haystack. And I'm kind of with it. Let's be a little bit realistic about all this. We're going to be hype about these new kids coming in and whatever they can contribute to the team. Here's the strange caveat. Strange caveat is last year, we were very hype about the UDFAs. I have a strange feeling, much like Mr. Poles said, they might have a bit of a harder time making it onto this squad this time around.
There's no question about that.
You know what I mean? Like defensive line, like these two specific kids on that D line might actually make it on this squad. Let's be honest. I think there's some work we can do with these two guys. But outside of that, maybe Reddy. I think it's Reddy Stewart. But maybe Reddy might squeeze in as a backup for the nickel. Like I would be surprised again at the cornerback position or in the secondary if anybody makes it. But maybe as a nickel backup, that makes a little bit more sense to me. I'll be watching Ian Wheeler. We'll see if he can crack the code and make this team. Again, I expect it to be much more heavily rooted with respect to his ability to work on special teams, as opposed to really being that fourth running back on the team. That's just me. But we'll see how she goes. Either way, I can't wait to see how this all shakes out, because in my mind, I expect them to sort of evaluate all this likely over the next couple, like just before the season. They should come to some sort of an evaluation, and they may make some sort of another dip into free agency to fill whatever hole that they have identified. So let's see what that looks like. I'm excited to figure out whether Poles does not make any moves like that. If he doesn't, it means he feels that we're ready and he's comfortable with what we have. And that in itself is interesting to see when we get things going. So I'm excited. Hopefully everybody out there is too. No Maniacs, thanks for repping with us. Please like, share, subscribe. Sports Jones Chicago, do the exact same. Like, share, subscribe, give Shawn some love. And I'll throw it over to my guy, Bishop.
Before you go, Bishop, real fast.
Yes,
Dobbsy just asked, did we get a center in that crop of UDFAs? Yes, we did. I just threw the name in the chat. The name Hayden Gillum, center, 300 pounds, 6'3", 300 pounds. Hayden Gillum. Not exactly sure where he's at. I didn't write that down, but Hayden Gillum is the center that we got in that crop. But I apologize.
We even got a Canadian.
Yeah. I seen that. I can't remember his name right off the top, but go ahead, Bishop.
No, I just want to say thank you to everybody that hung out with us again this afternoon. Again, just a little over an hour. You guys always hang in there with us, and I do appreciate it. Look, I'm going to tell you like this here, man. Last year and the year before that, the UDFA signings were a lot longer in terms of list of names. And if you can pay attention this time around, a lot shorter in terms of that list of names. But I believe more targeted this time around with regard to, again, adding certain depth pieces, certain depth pieces at certain areas on the, within the defense, primarily, especially. which lets us know what they're really thinking. And this goes to something that both Shawn and Nomad have been stating, along with myself, the footprint of Eric Washington. This is where he's going to be able to have his touch on things. And each player does fit Flus's mold, but now with their skill set is going to fit more Eric Washington's mold and what he envisions for that D line, and to help give that support necessary for the linebacking core to where it's going to be able to unleash our DBs. So I'm excited again. Like I said, I'm excited. I want OTAs to start now. Let's get it cracking. You know what I'm saying? Let's see who we got. Let's see what's going on out there. And let's get to training camp. But either way, man, I'm excited. But I paid attention to that. I said, this list of UDFAs is a lot smaller than before, which means that they're a lot more targeted. With regard to Mr. Wheeler, could this spell the end of Homer? That's your guy, Kedz, right?
Why is he my guy? I've got no love for him.
Man, Travis Homer's
start
gone,
that.
bro. He's gone.
Well,
man. His name is Homer.
Last conversation, man. We got to
wrap. His name is Homer, man.
Why you start?
Let's wrap it up, man.
His name is Homer. Can't have Homer.
Anyway, look, man. Either way, man. Look, we got a lot of football to talk about this off season, man. We got some bodies to talk about. We get a chance to maybe break down each one of these guys one at a time and really kind of dig in a little more. But right now, man, we're super excited. Yeah. I'm with you. I'm with you, Dopsy. I'm with you, brother. Yeah, I need some football right now. I have not paid much attention to the NBA playoffs. I'm ready for some football, brother. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it to my man Nomad so we can get ready to get on out of here. But again, everybody, you guys have a safe rest of your afternoon and evening. Enjoy your family and enjoy the sunshine and get you some vitamin D in your life. And we'll see you guys tomorrow. Nomad, take it away, brother.
Yeah, I second that, man. Get outside, man. Go do some yard work, man. Go cut some damn grass or something, man. Get your lazy ass up and go do something good.
Start a garden.
Every last one of you, get up.
Scrub some soil.
That's why I have a homeowners association and come and do my own lawn.
Shawn, you ever see that episode of Martin when Tommy's daddy came on the show? He's like a general or some kind.
Yeah.
Shape up. Get out there and go get behind the lawnmower and push that damn thing, man. Go do something outside, man. It's a very nice day to go do things outside, man. But real nice weather out there if you're in the Chicagoland area, man. So take advantage of it, man. Have yourself a good time out there. And let me speak and put a bow on this conversation today about the UDFAs, man. Listen, from football player to you guys, man, I will never poo-poo another man in his opportunity. You never know. Kedz is right. It's a very uphill battle for each and every last one of these guys. They signed that contract and they knew it when they did it. When they didn't get drafted and they came in and grabbed that contract for whatever amount of money they grabbed, they knew it was an extremely vertical climb to be able to get to where they want to get to. But don't you ever count a man out and his opportunity. This has been his dream his entire life. I know it. His entire life has been getting to this moment. And don't you count these dudes out for nothing. Because as a football player, somebody's hunger, don't ever underestimate how hungry somebody could be given that opportunity to shine. And this is the dream of a lifetime for him. So don't count any of these guys out. Almost none of them are going to make this team, but do not count them out, man. If they don't make it here, they might get an opportunity to go make it somewhere else. But don't poo-poo them because they're a UDFA, and it's an extremely hard job to make an NFL roster, man. These are the best of the best of the best. Anywhere, the best football players in the world reside on NFL rosters, and you're gonna go through hell to get on one. And so, but don't ever poo-poo them and think just because they're a UDFA, they're not worthy of a conversation, man. These guys are great football players, and they're here for a reason. So shout out to every one of these guys we talked about today and every UDFA out there, man. Do your thing, play like your hair's on fire, and let the cream rise to the top, man. I support you. But with that being said, man, we got to get up out of here, man. I haven't had anything to eat. It's nice outside, man. I want to enjoy a little bit of it. But before we get out of here, I got to leave you guys with these last words: love, peace, and hair grease, y'all.
Peace, y'all. Bear down.
Shot City.
And watch like
Stand
Jesus.
up. Yay, yay.